Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another installment of Tier List Week. Hit that horn. Mike, do the horn. He knows the one.
I wanted to do the horn.
Oh, no, don't. Mike, my bad. Andrew. Mike, you better put in the horn. That was abysmal. Today, we are going to be talking about the infield. Now, the infield is a little interesting because there are corner bases and there's the middle infield. And you were playing very different characters in those spots. So today, and also for the outfield tomorrow, we're going to have two separate tier lists we're going to talk about. About halfway through the video, we'll switch over. We're going to start today with the corner bases. So the Mario tier for the corner bases consists of Koopa Troopa, the babies, Mario and Luigi alike, Dixie Kong, and Bowser Jr.
These 5 characters don't bring anything to your corner bases. Dixie Kong has a fine arm, but that's pretty much it. One of these characters has sliding catch in Koopa, but even then, you want characters that have more reach, and you'll see characters that have like a lot more vertical distance going on in this tier list. These are like your you should probably not pick most of these characters anyways in your regular play, but they do not play corner bases well at all.
Yeah, I think the only character I've ever seen on a corner base here was probably Bowser Jr., and I think it was in like a hate draft.
Yeah, now moving on to the yikes tier. These are characters that are also not great on your corner bases. You've got Peach, Toadette, Toad, Green Noki, Monty Mole, and Goomba, which a little bit controversial for the Monty Mole and Goomba, especially since Goomba's got a really high jump and stuff. But these are just, for one, not like the best characters you're not going to be drafting. You might have 2 of these characters on 2 teams at any given time. But they don't offer all that much besides Goomba has a pretty high jump. Noki's the only one with a good enough arm to throw from third to first here. And their vertical just isn't high enough to really make a difference catching balls that other characters higher in the list will catch that are going over their heads.
Yeah, you'll notice the small characters are really not that great in the corner base positions because what you want is you want big and you want to be able to jump high. Ball dash is notable, and that's usually where they go if they're on a team, but they're never on the team, and even when they are, you'd rather have someone else at the corner base.
Exactly. Ball dash gives them the little bit of an edge in there. And then, like, Noki's got sliding catch. Toad and Toadette have those big hit boxes, and Peach has got quick throw. So, like, it's a slight step up from the Mario tier, but definitely still, like, if you oh man, I got a throwaway spot for first, maybe you're throwing one of these guys in there. But again, these are not really who you want there.
And now we'll move on to the list of the guys that are okay at the corner bases. You don't see them there too often, but they can actually play them pretty serviceably. That's going to be Shy Guy, Mario, Green Bones, Wario, Daisy, Toadsworth, Boo, Hammer Bro, and Diddy Kong. The most notable here, I think, is Boo, just because he has super jump, which is the best ability to have on a corner base. But maybe bar laser, but like none of the other characters in this tier have that. Toadsworth actually has a pretty decent jump because his hitbox is big. Besides that, most of these characters, a few of them have sliding catch, but you're not going to see characters like this here very often. Sometimes you'll see them for chemistry potential. Like you might play a Diddy Kong on first if you're Donkey Kong on shortstop. That chemistry can get the ball in really fast and make plays that you should not be making. As well as a Shy Guy on first is really good with a Birdo on shortstop or second base, gets the ball there a lot faster.
Yeah, I've played Shy Guy on first a lot historically.
Yeah, you've also got your sliders in here, like your actual good sliding characters. So your Marty, your Bones, your Wario, your Daisy, they actually have a good enough dive that they can get some of those balls that maybe would just go foul or just squeak past the baseline. So that's good. On top of that, Wario's got a fat ass, Daisy's got quick throw, Mario is handsome. They all work. They're just fine for the corner bases. Or no one's first pick for them. You're probably never even going to see them there because you're about to hear the tier after this also has 9 people in it. So you're not really, again, even though it's the third tier, it's the middle tier, it's still basically like the why are you doing this tier.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially Bro. I think Bro is probably this high on the list if I had to guess because he doesn't really go anywhere else. besides being like a little bit taller than some characters like Noki and a little bit wider than some characters like Peach, I'm not sure what else he really does at a corner
Got a
base.
strong arm.
He does
Strong
have a
arm,
pretty
Bowser
decent
synergy.
Yep, yeah, pretty decent arm. Honestly, a Bowser Jr. in right field, bro to first, can throw out a few of the slower characters like a Toadsworth.
I've done it myself personally.
I've seen it. It's rare to throw out from right to first, but that is a combo that can definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're moving on to the pretty dang good corner baseman. These are characters that you're going to be seeing there quite a bit more than everyone else below here, whether it's because of chemistry, super jump, good arms, etc., etc. Laser, and that's going to be Paratroopa, Paragoomba, Yoshi, Pink Menace, Luigi, Birdo, Donkey Kong, Bowser, Petey Piranha. These, like, anytime you watch a League game, you're going to see at least one of these characters on somebody's corner bases.
More than likely.
More than likely, absolutely. Petey Piranha is a really good first baseman because he has that Birdo and Donkey Kong chemistry.
And KB.
And KB, yeah, he's part of the craziest infield in the game. And he has a really fast throw, so even though he doesn't have laser, he can sometimes throw people out at home.
He has some unfortunate anti-synergies, though. Frequently, I've seen it lead to the, ball going way down into the right foul line.
It does happen, but rarely.
Rarely.
Yeah, and then you're going to see the laser characters that are really good here. That is Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Pink Menace. They have decent range on their dives, particularly DK and Pink Menace have farther dives than Bowser, if I'm not mistaken. They have better jumps too, especially Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And having laser on a corner base plus a good arm, which all three of them have, they can play first or third pretty dang well. I enjoy them there a lot.
Yeah.
Your super jumpers for this tier would be Paratroopa, Paragoomba, and Luigi. You're not going to see Luigi and Paragoomba in most games, but Paratroopa can play a very good third base. He's got a good arm. He definitely gets the job done. And Yoshi and Birdo, they're just good.
Yeah,
They're-
I'd even argue they go a tier up.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're in this tier mainly because, I mean, you brought it up beforehand. I don't think they're as good as the three characters we're about to talk about as at solely these positions, because I can't think of any situation, like literally none, where you're going to have a team of 9 players and you're going to go, okay, Yoshi, first base.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, because first of all, first base is considered one of the 2 throwaway spots. I guess 3 technically. That being center field, first base, and catcher. And like, you're never going to sacrifice putting Yoshi or Birdo in one of the spots where they literally change the dynamic of a game to have a first baseman.
Yeah.
Right.
But they will get the job done. I mean, they probably work just as well as, like someone we'll talk about in the next tier that, you can suck balls from the side that would have been like foul and no one can catch. You can probably make a few of those plays, but again, it's not where you're putting them.
Well, what do you think about this? Diddy Kong, no stars. He's Dixie Kong, right?
Mhm.
She's a push hitter, so it's always going to go to the left field. You just have Birdo and Yoshi in the the shortstop and third base position.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Might
a
be
great
kinda cool.
thing to do. It's just like you can shift to get that to happen.
That's a weird at bat that happens to come up. Maybe you could just take Yoshi from left and put him on third for a second.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm talking about.
but again, you're not like he's like, it's just for this exact situation. It's a very niche, specific situation.
Right, that wouldn't put him in the upper tier. I want to say I'm impressed with Paragoomba slipping his all the way up here. I think he's the only like low tier in the upper echelons, and he's up here.
Yeah, I mean, it'll happen. You got a strong arm, you got super jump. That's all you need to do corner base. That's like the big. There's like 4 really good things you could bring to a corner base. That is super jump, laser, a strong arm, or some weird way to manipulate the ball into going into your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And everyone in this tier and the one above has those things.
Exactly. And to get to that super fatty tier, that's gonna be, I mean, you guys know at this point, you guys see at least 2 of these characters every single game. And one that is on the come up. We've got King Boo and Magikoopa. Those are the guys that you're like, oh, duh. Like, those guys are insane.
Yeah.
And Waluigi.
Yep.
Waluigi plays a disgusting first base. Super jump, arguably the best ability you can have on first base. Robs tons of balls that it just should not.
Mm-hmm.
Laser to throw into home base. very quickly.
The only other ability you might argue is best on a corner base.
Yeah,
and he's got both of them.
Yeah, so definitely a character to learn if you're looking to up your first base game. He goes really well with a Wario on second too. And he makes Wario almost look viable on shortstop. It's still a little shaky because his arm's bad, but I think he actually makes Wario like really close to being a good shortstop.
Yeah, this is very interesting points. I still don't think Waluigi's very good. I think his bat holds him back too much to get picked, and I think there's enough. It's not an important enough position, and there's enough other players that play the position well that are in the meta to the point where we probably won't see Waluigi come in, but if he's on your team, he might be the best corner baseman in the game.
I mean, yeah, by pure, when we do these lists, which again aren't ordered, we forgot to mention earlier, these are not in any particular order. But when you're when we're looking at these objective, like just we're not talking about his crappy bat or his awful star hit or any of that. This is solely how well he performs on a corner base. He just checks all the boxes. He's got a good chem line for a very good character in the middle infield. He's got laser, super jump, strong arm, good dive range. Like he kind of has it all. It's a little wacky, but he's like really good.
We'll say his dive range takes a little bit to come out. You know, those beam balls that like PM or Bowser are hitting on a line drive to first base, they might get past him because his dive is a little slower than someone like, say, Wario or Yoshi or Birdo.
Yeah, that might be true. But to get to the cream of the crop here, the ones that you see every game, Magikoopa is just an incredible corner baseman. I like to play him on first more than I like to play him on third. But I'll do either because he plays them both really well. With magical catch, he can pull in balls that he has no business catching at all. He's the tallest character in the game by a pretty decent margin. So all he has to do is jump, and he can catch balls that some of the super jumpers can also catch.
He just sends that wand up in the air, and then on top of that magical distance, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely insane, as well as just being a good character all around for batting and stuff.
Unlike Waluigi, you're not mad to have this guy on your team.
Yeah. His only thing that holds him back on a corner base is technically he has a poor arm. So you're gonna maybe see him on first more than third, but like because of the insane work he can do on third base, people play him there anyways.
Yeah, he's really good. All the color variants get the job done. I agree that like, everyone says he's the best third baseman in the game. I think as far as getting pure outs go, he does outperform the other man in this bracket, KB. But you make a good point that a little dribbler to third might get the person safe on first if you got Madge there because his arm is poo-poo butthole. But I think the trade in for a possible bunt or two, getting someone to first is well worth the crazy amount of balls he's gonna just be like, yoink, mine.
But King Boo, the other character, the one you see a lot on third base, he has a really good arm, which puts him above Madge for some people, especially when you have like the PD chemistry on first base, or even the Boo chemistry,
team, as we call them.
If Boo is on first base for you for some reason, that's also chemistry. His super jump is, I don't know if it's necessarily the highest in the game, but with his big body, he can catch a lot more than someone like, say, a Paratroopa, because Paratroopa's hitbox is a lot smaller. King Boo's is really big. So even if he's going to be catching more no matter what, and also you get to select him more in the base game because of his bigger hitbox, the game notices like, oh, he can get this, whereas for Paratroopa, it doesn't notice as often. I think it's a weird like thing, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
he activates more than a smaller character would.
Yes, for sure.
Well, whatever you say, Chief. King Boo is really cool because like when they hit the ball, you can just kind of like on your controller, and usually you get a super jump like going in the direction of the ball. And you get a big play.
Very easy. He's one of the best to have there, bar none. Him and Madge and Waluigi now, we know. Those are your, in a vacuum, the three guys you want. So
exactly. And also just like having a good place to play a power hitter, because a few of the power hitters kind of don't have good fielding positions.
Cough, cough, bro.
Yeah, having a good place for that, like one of those hitters, is just good. That's why you see KB drafted so early. Sometimes over bro. Not always, but sometimes.
That's going to do it for the corner bases. But before we move into the middle infield, I'm going to do what's called the catcher minute. I'm going to spend the next 60 seconds giving you the catcher tier list. Here we go. Time it. Go. All right. So basically, every character that isn't one of the, I'm going to say 3, I'm about the name. You shouldn't be playing at catcher. Petey's the best catcher in the game, followed by Bro, because it's one of the few places you can put him, and he's got a strong arm. Then you could also play, it's a little more than 3. You can play like your heavies there, they have strong arms. And the only other people that you sometimes will put at catcher is someone with ball dash, because if someone's caught slipping on a steal, you can run it out. Literally everyone else, pretty bad down there. Mild exceptions are your Paracoopas and your other weird strong arms. But basically, you want Petey there. He's the guy.
Yes, if you don't put Petey there, just to add, Pink Menace has the second fastest throwing arm, so he's also good there. But Petey's like quite a bit faster than him. Time.
You need to talk for another 5 seconds.
Heavies, para, ball dash. Everyone else sucks.
We did it!
And that concludes the catcher tier list minute. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's move on to the middle infield. You made the corner bases tier list. You didn't see it, but as we, laid it out, it was a little balanced. It was like 5, and then it was 6, then it was 9, then it was 9, then it was 3. It was nice. The middle infield is a much more serious position, and there are just some people that will not cut it. Here is a long list of them. Mike, get ready. Koopa Troopa, Bro, Boo, Monty, Paragoomba, Baby Luigi, KB, Baby Mario, Goomba, Dixie Kong, Paratroopa, BJ, and Petey Piranha. If you have any of these guys in your middle infield, you give up. We've already lost. So many balls are gonna go right over their heads or right past them because they're too small, and you are gonna give up way too many runs.
So just to address a couple of these characters quick that you might be like, oh, like maybe like I like these guys or what? Anybody in this tier with super jump, that would be Boo, Paragoomba, King Boo, and Paratroopa. Sometimes when you're going to press A to like catch a quick line drive, they'll just jump over it, like way over it. Like I've seen, especially in the practice mode, the computers do it a lot. The paratroopers in the middle infield will just jump over the ball. And in practice, we've seen people do it as well. So super jump is the only ability that's like a super bad like hindrance in this position. Other characters that we named are just kind of either like too small or just have better prowess elsewhere, but mostly just too small. Your Baby Mario, Baby Luigi. Koopa's the only one here with sliding catch, which like makes him almost viable. Like I might bump him to the tier up, but I'm pretty sure his slide is kind of like really short, I think. So I get why he's here. Everyone else is just like, they don't offer anything. Everybody above this offers something new.
Can I actually say something on that point?
Sure.
I'm looking at the middle infield tier list right now in front of us that I made with help from Dennis. Why is Luigi in the tier above this one?
I'm kind of looking at Toadsworth at that also.
We will get to that right now. So the tier above it, and we can talk about it, hash it out in a sec. We have Bowser, Diddy Kong, Toadsworth, Peach, Toad, Luigi, and Green Shy Guy, or just Shy Guy in general. Just
Mike, you hold on to that Mario tier. We might be knocking some boys downward, and I want to see
everyone but Bowser.
I disagree, and that's because I know why Toadsworth and Toad are there, because their hitboxes are really big. So even with their weird little dive ranges and not great arms,
yes,
they're getting to more balls than people lower than this.
I agree with those two.
Petey?
So yeah, Petey's hitbox is actually like way smaller than it looks.
It's not big. It's weird. It's high, but it's not wide. And wide's what you need on the middle infield.
Yeah,
okay.
And the Toads just have this like big hitbox that gets a lot of things.
It's because of their hats.
Peach's only thing about that she can play this, like she's too skinny, so balls just go past her sometimes, but she does have the quick throw, which whatever, second to first, like that's fun, but it's not great. Luigi honestly doesn't really play a great middle infield. I'd probably bump him down.
He's the one I'm talking about. He's the one glaring, because we were like, super jump is a hindrance. And I think maybe Tyler making this thought he had sliding catch for some reason.
Yeah, he does not. Super jump, wall jump.
Yeah, are we all in agreement to hit him with the hammer?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. In the dirt.
All right, so that was fun. I'm glad we all agreed to send Luigi down to the Mario tier.
Yeah, so Shy Guy has sliding catch and Birdo chemistry. That's pretty much the only thing that makes him viable here. His slide isn't too far and his hitbox isn't that big, but most of the sliding catchers you're going to see more in this upper echelon just because they can get to the ball faster. They have more range.
His arm also isn't too bad.
No, it's not awful. Diddy Kong is here. He's got a good arm. He's got super catch, which
So does Peach.
true, which makes him kind of a little bigger. Honestly, like people have kind of turned me on to Diddy Kong in the middle infield a little bit because he's just like, he plays a solid second base. I'm not going to say you should be playing him here, but if you need to, he's not terrible.
I will say that I think there aren't a lot of characters that we really see this with because there aren't a lot of characters with super catch / glue hands, but all of them are in this tier. I think it might be a little underrated. I don't think it's gonna be something we see explored because again, like the bad arms or just like the value you get from higher up middle infielders. But I think there's definitely something to say about no bobbles for your infield, because I've seen so many. It's not DK's fault specifically, but like you always see DK at shortstop, and as a result of seeing him there so much, you see the occasional he'll do a little dive animation, bonk, ball goes in the air, and it takes too long, and you get a guy at first. Whereas if you get Diddy Kong, you get Toadsworth, you get Peach, that can't happen. You probably throw him out at first.
You also just got to consider like DK is going to be making way more plays because of how big he is compared to these characters.
Right.
There is an argument for like a Toadsworth possibly because he does just have a big hitbox, but it had to be something that's practiced more. If you guys know anything about it, leave a comment down below.
I'm not
I'd
saying
like to-
better than DK. I'm just saying I understand the value of having super catch in the infield. That's what I was
Got it.
trying to say.
I'd like to make an argument for Peach because, you know, I'm not sure if it works for a bullet ball, but at least the line drives that are like pushing you back. So when you catch the out, you can't throw the guy out at first. Instead of getting like pushed back super far, Peach is just going to catch it and throw it. Like,
Yeah,
Does
but
super catch negate
Yeah.
a pushback?
yeah.
That's cool. I
That's
didn't know
cool.
that.
Yeah, but like we don't have Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s bullet hits really. They aren't really meta right now.
They
so
will
it's
be.
not super relevant. Also, Birdo just catches it way better.
And I think the bigger problem with that is she has to not dive for it, because if she's diving for it, she's going to be too slow to make the out at first.
That might be true.
Hence why it's simply the tier just above the bottom
And,
tier.
and she's thin.
Yeah, and to address the last character in this list, Bowser. Bowser's got a pretty decent range all around. He's big, so he gets to a few balls that some other characters lower than this won't. He also has laser, which is a good thing to have in middle infield. You'll notice that the laser characters, other ones have not been said yet, which we will see them as we go up. But Bowser plays a serviceable shortstop or second base. He's got a good arm as well. That's why you'll see the Bowser Jr. on first, maybe, that chemistry. Whoa. All right. Moving on to the next tier. These are characters that you actually will see in these positions every now and again. Not super often because there are enough middle infielders to go around. You only need 4 total to play a game of baseball, but you'll see them every once in a while. That's going to be your Green Bones, Green Noki, Daisy, Mario, Toadette, and odd one, but not bad, Waluigi.
Yeah, it's definitely, he's the odd man out there because I think you can kind of, we'll talk about them in a little more detail, but you can kind of say like a blanket statement for Dry Bones, Noki, Daisy, Mario, and Toadette are they have sliding catch.
Yep.
Which is a great ability in the infield. They have sliding catch. I personally think that Daisy also having quick throw makes her a little bit better because Mario and Toadette's second abilities are outfield related. So she has a little bit more. But again, all 5 of those are in this spot because sliding catch is a really good thing to have in the middle infield. And then Waluigi is like, he's here because his slide is long and he has a laser. But the only thing holding him back from being higher is that he also has super jump. So if you go to press A to dive, the game might input it as a super jump, and a ball that would probably have been an out or at the worst a single, all of a sudden becomes a dumb ball if you super jump over it.
Yeah, that's true, and I've seen it. So
Yeah, Waluigi's just jumping while the ball's running away, and he's like, wah, wah.
yeah, not much to say about these characters except like most of them have fine arms, except I mean like Toadette, Bones, and Waluigi don't have good arms. But then those are the characters you play on second base instead of shortstop. Shortstop, Mario and Daisy are definitely a little bit more viable because they have better arms than those characters. Noki as well. Noki probably has the best arm out of all of these guys, I'm pretty sure. Mario might rival it, but I'm not 100% on that.
Also depends on how you want to go about factoring in quick throw.
Yeah, Bones might rival it.
I don't factor in quick throw. It's my fatal flaw.
I will say, not to keep praising Daisy, but Dennis definitely opened my eyes to her during the playoffs. He might not have gotten very far, but in a lot of his games, he played Daisy in the middle infield, and I saw her make so many plays. And as someone who always pitches with Daisy, I never thought of like putting her at shortstop. But over time, she's become a character that I just like hitting with. I think her singles bat for me is reliable. And as a result, now that I'm trying to move on to objectively better pitchers, it's nice that I know that if I still want Daisy, I can put her somewhere. I know where she goes.
Yeah,
Right.
her bat is acceptable, and it's not too infrequent that your opponent controls all of the middle infielders that are above her, sans one of them.
I mean, you can look right now. It would literally your opponent, if their entire team was made up of the rest of this tier and the tiers above it, you still have people to work with. So
Yeah.
True. All right. So let's move on to the ones that you see very often in the middle infield,
top
but
6,
not,
baby.
but not the top 3. We'll do the bottom 3 of the top 6.
But these guys, all of them get a round of applause. Like just
Yeah.
they get the job done.
Good for you.
Good for you.
All right. So we've got the Pink Menace himself, as well as Wario and Magikoopa. The ones you see definitely more in practice because Magikoopa is better on the corner bases. You'll see the Pink Menace and Wario quite a bit. Wario's sliding catch is really, really long. He's got a big hitbox. He's tall. And although he doesn't have a good arm, he just gets to a lot of balls that he like rivals Yoshi sometimes with the way he can get to certain things that other people just can't.
Yeah, there's Magikoopa is kind of the black sheep of this group. The ball's like too far to the left or right of him kind of go off, but he's really good at getting those diagonal balls, which are really important in the middle infield. I think he's definitely the worst of the bottom 3 of the top 6, but I wouldn't go so far as to put him in his own tier below. I think he's still in this tier.
Absolutely.
I agree. And then last man, PM. He's great. He doesn't get quite as far or as high as Wario, but he makes up for it in the form of Laser, which saves so many runs from getting to home plate. So where you're not getting as many outs, you're saving those runs at the home plate where they matter. And on top of that, his arm is way better than Wario's. So even though his dive range isn't that good, you might be able to still squeak out an out if you get there in time.
Right. A small disadvantage to having the Pink Menace on shortstop. For one, don't play PD on first if he's playing shortstop there.
Earlier in the
catcher.
video.
Second, like, you can play PD on catcher, just be aware of the sins you might commit. Because sometimes, like Andrew was saying, the ball could fly right past him with an anti-chem because a laser anti-chem is so fast that the other character might not have time to get there, and it's going to be so far off that runners are scoring. That's it. It might go past him and just hit the wall, and you might have to run after it with Petey, one of the slowest characters in the game. Be careful of that. Wario doesn't have offensive antis that play common positions like that as much, so that is kind of a plus for him. But Pink Menace definitely really good. Laser to home, it's really good in the middle infield, especially if you have a good slide like he does.
Just keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's all we're saying.
Anyways, let us move on to the top 3 of the top 6 of the middle infielders. That is going to be your Yoshi, Birdo, Donkey Kong.
Andrew, it would be a mistake if anyone other than you told us the joys of Birdo. So please tell us the joys.
Birdo's the best middle infielder in the game.
Wrong.
By a long shot. And then Dennis shot me a look. He goes, "What about Yoshi?" Birdo doesn't bobble the ball, has better synergies, has a stronger throwing arm. Yoshi has higher speed, which doesn't come into play in the middle infield.
First of all, that is the wrongest thing I've ever heard in my life. And
Yeah,
secondly,
disagree.
we are not putting them in an order.
Thank God, because the Wario PM comments would be going insane. They'd be going stupid.
Yeah, so Birdo and Yoshi play very similar roles on shortstop and second base, respectively. You're going to have your Birdos on shortstop more because she has a better arm, and your Yoshi, if he's playing middle infield, he's going to be playing second base more. Yoshi definitely gets to more balls than Birdo because of that speed. Absolutely, he does.
Nope.
Absolutely. The game registers.
Don't listen to Andrew. He was a sub in last second for Dennis.
The game notices, okay, Yoshi has the potential to get to this ball. We're going to give them Yoshi instead of somebody
Complete
else.
cap.
What?
It's not how the game works.
That is absolutely how the game works. Yoshi can get to things that go behind the first baseman. because they give you him. They wouldn't give you Birdo in that same situation, and that's definitely true. Leave a comment if you've experienced this, because apparently Andrew, who's been here since the beginning, hasn't yet.
Andrew's a dork. But yeah, I 100% agree. Those are exactly where you should play them, because Birdo's got those good chems that either PD or Shy Guy at first, and that suck is incredible. It's only a little worse than the tongue. And on top of that, I mean, like, you play him on when you have Yoshi on second, man. I was gonna say something about Wario earlier. I feel like Wario, like, he runs sometimes and gets to those. Wario and Yoshi are the only characters I see get some of those balls that would normally just be like sucks to suck, go right past first and second.
Yeah.
Wario and Yoshi like put in the extra effort to run, and on top of that, Yoshi can run and then tongue.
Yeah.
And get the ball. So two of the absolute best for very similar reasons. They have a big extendo grip. But third man here, DK, he's here for other reasons. His dive range doesn't rival those two, but it is still very good. He's got a great height and size, so he can jump, dive, and just simply catch a lot of balls, not needing any of the abilities that are normally related with doing those things. And he's got laser.
The laser's the big thing here with Donkey Kong. Like, you might rather play, like, he does have a strong arm, which also helps, but you might rather play like possibly a Wario, depending on stuff. But like, laser is such a huge thing these days because of how close the competition's gotten in this club, and it just saves so many runs where other times your opponent's just scoring like crazy on you.
He's Wario with laser. If Wario had laser, he'd be just as good.
And a shitty dive range.
Yeah.
Compared to Wario.
Something to say about the shittier dive range, though. Dennis kind of opened my eyes to something called player error. And on something like an egg, where it's going like right next to the fielder, but you have to dive to get it still, it's actually, I don't know if it's a mental trickery, and it might be. It might be a little easier to catch eggs that are right next to you with someone like DK as opposed to Birdo or Wario, because the shorter dive leads you to be in the right spot rather than go past it, which I'm not even sure if you can do. And I'm not sure if it affects the cone of range on the stick that you could press the A button.
Man, Andrew, we were doing like a really good thing these last few days with these tier lists, and then all of a sudden you've come in here and you've derailed them with your hoo-ha about Birdo being better.
He's coming in here and telling me the game gives me different characters based on their speed.
It does. Leave a comment if it does.
Yeah. Sorry, all you fans of the game out there who like stats and stuff. I'm not one of those guys, but even I'm getting a little heated.
Anyways, guys, I think that's it for the Infield tier list.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there were two of them. Three if you count the bonus, the catcher minute. This is also how we're going to be doing the outfield. The outfield is going to be broken down into left and center and then right separately because of all the stuff that happens with home runs and right. That video will be coming out tomorrow, and you'll probably be seeing a very similar group of handsome young men doing it. Hopefully, Andrew will get his head on straight by then. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you would have done with these tier lists, if you think we should be making any changes. And as always, we will see you soon for tier list week. Andrew, we've been ragging on you all day. I'll let you have a solo DCO.
I don't know what a DCO is, so I'm going to talk about ancient Greece. You know the guy who was like trapped in a prison, or he wasn't trapped, he stayed of his own volition, and he said like, I'm not going to leave because the public doesn't know what's like best? That's kind of how I feel now. I'm going to get a bunch of comments saying the game does that.
City out!
Oh!